my sense just from this conversation is if you were pro freedom dividend and you believed in the power of putting more cash into the hands of citizens, then the Oregon People's Rebate is basically a version of that that in some ways is even simpler because you don't have to explain VAT to people. Although I love the efficiency of that, I also appreciate that there's a practicality there of helping people grok things faster. And it's very sounds very achievable. Like, how many
Right.
signatures do you need to get? What's your goal?
Yeah, thank you. So that's the we need 112,020 ballot signatures by July 8th, 2022.
Yeah,
So it need,
2022. Oh yeah, so you got time.
oh yeah,
And it's not
well,
like you need to win the White House. You need, call it 150,000 signatures. Like that seems very doable. It seems like if people donate, you'll probably be able to promote OPR targeted at Oregon residents, and then
yep,
they can request the envelope sent to them. Now, I will say that I think that is going to be an added layer of friction, and which
yes.
is why you do need help to kind of get the word out there. So, but yeah, like I lived in Washington State when we legalized marijuana, and all the rest of the states, not Oregon, but many of the other states were like, "Oh, that's crazy. That'll never happen." And that's just those crazy Washington State people. And now, like people are talking about federal legalization, and similarly, a people's rebate that starts in the Northwest could certainly spread, and I think it would be fantastic. So I wish you guys all the best, and I think it's very much like Yang's mayoral run in that it's
Yeah.
within reach. It is absolutely doable. It's not like, oh, gee, every star needs to align to make this happen. Um,
Mhm.
tell me, maybe before we wrap up, I would love to hear um, what kind of reaction you're getting from various stakeholders in Oregon. Like we talked about, like, hey, maybe some corporations will kind of, if not be supportive, be open to it. What about like on the other side of the spectrum, advocacy groups that have typically advocated for more organized or structured government programs versus cash? Are you getting any pushback there from people saying, "Hey, this is a Trojan horse to take away state programs, and who knows what people will do with the money?" Or are you what's the reaction across the spectrum?
Yeah, thank you, Tom. I think that the reaction, so we have one of our internal rules is that we are like the Nobel Committee in that we only talk about the winners.
Mm-hmm.
So those who are not in favor, like, I don't want to talk about their reasons. But it's important to keep in mind that, so I said before, the Urban People's Rebate is not the solution to everything, and we're approaching this with that humility. So the Urban People's Rebate stacks on top of
Mm-hmm.
all other income-based benefit programs that are available at the state and federally. So we're not, and this is a difference with the freedom dividend that maybe it's worth discussing more. But we're not taking away from anything. The revenue that we're talking about is new revenue,
Mm-hmm.
and so if um, there are many basic programs that are underfunded, and that is something to address. But that's not something that we are addressing with these 4 pages of um, of proposed legislation. We're not fixing every problem. We're just fixing this immediate problem of we're all having trouble making ends meet. Would $750 per person in your household help? The I do not know a single person who says no to that, and that indicates that this idea is popular. And as you were saying before, it's also achievable, right? So
Mm-hmm.
there's going to be an election in November 2022, and the Urban People's Rebate, which is only 2 years, is less than 2 years from now, and the Urban People's Rebate is ready, and we're going to be at that election, and we're going to be on that ballot on January, February of 2024. The first rebate checks will be going out. I'm not sure that there are any other basic income like proposals, solutions that
Mm-hmm.
are going to be as broad as the Oregon People's Rebate and are going to be kicking in as quickly as this. So this is super achievable, and it's super achievable quickly. So as I was talking to somebody from California the other day, and
Mm-hmm.
they said, "This sounds great. How do we get the Oregon People's Rebate in California?" And I was like a little cheeky, but I said, the easiest way for you to get this in California is to help us get this in Oregon,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of the ways we're going to make progress until this idea of putting cash in people's hands is just obvious, and then it'll be easier to have a conversation at the federal level, for example.
Yeah, no, that makes a ton of sense, Antonio. I think a lot of people in the chat are getting excited about this, and I feel like there's not enough awareness about the Oregon People's Rebate Initiative within the Yang Gang. So hopefully, if anybody's watching this, please remember to like and share and spread the word. Think of the OPR as a freedom dividend pilot in a state
Yeah.
where 150,000 signatures could get you on the ballot, and if we can prove it there, then it'll be much easier because it's always easier. Like Alaska was a good example for Yang, but Alaska for a lot of people felt like, well, I don't know, that's Alaska, that's like some faraway place. But at least Oregon's in the lower 48. I mean, Oregon's a little interesting too, but it's closer to the
Yeah.
to the rest of the continental U.S. And so it'll start there. And I totally think it makes a ton of sense. And I would love to have you back on the show. As the progress gets made, and if you have content that maybe next time we can look at it together in terms of like any ways to visualize it. Because I think one of the challenges with Freedom Dividend was you had to spend like an hour talking to someone to explain it, and it seems like OPR, like you could kind of distill it down into a tighter elevator pitch as you have, Antonio. So I'm glad to see that great progress. And so Kristen Slevin is our executive vice president. She is the most generous Nerds for Humanity member. Thank you, Kristen. I think that EVP slot is going to open up. I think Kristen's like, hey, I love you, but I'm gonna have to downgrade to a lower level because that EVP level is pretty generous. But thank you, Kristen, for the almost year of being an EVP, and you helped us advertise on Yang Speaks and then David Pacman and invest in some of this cool equipment. Who else has helped us? Our VPs. And who are those VPs? I will tell you. Crikey. Hold on. Who are those VPs? I will tell you. Golly. This is taking forever. Here we go. All right. I just want to make sure that you guys could see. There we go. What in the Sam Hill's going on? All right. Andrew Yang for president saying, any Pacman interview on the horizon? I'll ask. I mean, obviously, we advertise on his channel. I don't think that obligates him to come on to the Nerd Show, but I would love to. So thank you for reminding me. I need to ask him. Okay, VPs. I'm going to sort this guy by total time as members. So our oldest VPs are VLAM, JM Sap, Fat Lamb, Soldier, Laura Lane, Joshua Frick, Patrick Dunn, Bike, and Mindful Skeptics. So thank you to our VPs. And at the hardcore level, we have Mike Chang, Gene Lim, David, Tracy Mesa, DK, Landline, Phoenix Congress, Jekalego, Kirsch Thiva, Mr. History Fan, Byram Hess, Susan Clifton, Yang Deng, Tony, Robert, Dean, Stat Nerd, Galessa, and Jalacia. So, there's more. And Jay Perrin and J. Brian Anderson. Mr. Anderson. All right. And then at the verified level, we have Helen, Lisa, Sugar, Albert, Brandon, Yes, Brian, Peter, Arez, Your Mammon, Sophia, Jadwiga, Gail, Shake and Make, Mike, Doris, Emerald, Nell, Lori, Ben, Roger, Lisa, Christina, Vaughn, Rasta, Ryan, Jessica, James, Jalopy, Emma, Joel, Spirited, Hui, Steven, Ira, Shoni, Spy. Spy's actually right here. I think he's in the audience at the moment. Philip, Jameson, Ender the Third, Dr. A, William, Karen, Annalisa, Monica, Alex, Ardent, Mai, and Samari. And I'll give a quick shout out to our youngest nerds who just joined quite recently. Samari, only 4 days old. J. Brian Anderson in the last 7 days. Ardent, Mai, also in the last 7 days. Alex and Annalisa fairly recently as well. Let me give you guys a welcome cowbell. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, now.
Yang Gang 2020. Yang Gang 2020. Yang Gang 2020. Yang Gang. Yeah. Yang Gang 2020.